There has never been a better time to consider a career in the trucking and logistics industry. But when you think about being a truck driver, you likely think about long hauls across the country or continent. Maybe you think about people being away from their families for weeks at a time. Maybe the word trucker conjures up a stereotype that doesn't look or sound anything like you. Maybe you worry that the industry won't be welcoming or rewarding. Or maybe you've never even thought about becoming a truck driver at all. Well, there's way more to trucking than long-haul freight. More and more women and young people are getting into the industry, and there are many great reasons why becoming a Class 1 or Class 3 truck driver could be the career that moves you. Come on this ride with us as we help you explore some of the great reasons to consider a driving career, what you can do to prepare, and how Parkland wants to be a part of your journey. Hi, I'm Tara Overholt with Parkland Corporation. What? You've never heard of Parkland? Well, you probably know us better by our products and services like these gas station brands or our on-the-run convenience stores. But we also run a sophisticated fuel supply and distribution network across 25 countries. So that means not just creating gasoline and diesel, but trading it, then delivering it by truck and shipping it to our many outlets and sites across North America and the Caribbean. One of the most important jobs in that whole supply chain is the person who trucks that product from point A to B, ensuring our customers can fuel their vehicles, heat their homes, and do all the other things they rely on Parkland's products to do. So the next time you see a Columbia Fuels, Blue Wave Energy, Sparling's Propane, Ultramar, or Island Petroleum truck out on the road, give the driver a wave. They're from Parkland, and we think they're kind of a big deal. Some may even call them superheroes. But don't just take our word for it. A recent Abacus poll commissioned by the Canadian Truck Alliance found that just over half of Canadians believe trucking is the most important mode to get goods delivered across Canada, much higher than rail, air, and marine. In fact, 3 in 4 Canadians believe trucking to be either the most or second most important mode in getting goods to market. The good news for all you superhero wannabes is that there is a huge demand for truck drivers, not just at Parkland, but right across the industry. We're going to get to some of the reasons for this in a minute. But first I want to introduce you to Gazwan. He's a driver for our Ultramar brand. He can tell you why he loves being a driver for Parkland, and it may change your idea of what a truck driver does and who they are.
I'm always a smile with the drivers, with the dispatcher, with my management. I love this place.
My job I'm a driver fuel. We deliver to the fleet, to the trucks right away. We deliver to the equipment, generators. We deliver to the tanks, premium gas, regular gas, clear diesel, dyed diesel, furnace oil. Our customer is awesome. Sometimes they ask for delivery before. Sometimes they contact me. I forward the request to the dispatcher, and the dispatchers they send me ticket, then I deliver to them, and they are so happy for the service. Parkland, they offer us all the safety equipment what we need. Like safety shoes, like a coat, a heavy jacket, hard hat, everything what we need. Parkland is a safe place to work. The first thing when I see my manager or my big boss, first thing he say, "Hey Gazwan, how are you? How is your family?" They give me more energy and more power to feed this company. First question, you are happy? You come to work happy, smile. When you finish, they want the Parkland is the important thing. They say you need to go back to your home, your family, your kids to enjoy. You are safe. This is awesome place, and I'm so proud to work with Parkland.
So let's talk to someone else in the know who can tell us about the different kinds of driving the industry as a whole has to offer, but also the great opportunity ahead of us. Craig Fawcett is from Trucking HR Canada. So first off, Craig, tell us, why is it a great time for young people to think about a career in driving?
I think there's a couple different things. One, it's an industry that has lots of opportunities. We do have a fair amount of labor shortages, like a lot of other industries do, which means there's a lot of opportunities for youth to get into a career in trucking. It's also fairly easy entry into trucking, which we can talk about in greater detail. And at the same time, it's going to be an opportunities for time to come. What we're finding is that the need for truck drivers will persist for many years. So if it's something someone gets into now, they'll be able to stay in that industry for a long time if they choose to.
So let me make it clear. There's a real demand for truck drivers across the industry now and into the future?
Sure. So right now we have actually significant demand. What we're finding is that the demand for drivers is far in excess for the supply of drivers we have available. So we are looking at ways in which that we can bring more people, and especially young people, into the industry to fill those needs. Our vacancies usually run about 20,000 people at a time. So it is pretty significant. That's across all of Canada. So it'll be different in every community, but there's definitely a need across the board for drivers.
Wow, it's really important to think about the long-term potential of a career before you spend time getting qualified. There are a lot of myths and misconceptions out there about truck driving. Can you help us dispel some of those?
Sure. So there's a couple of different myths that kind of come up. One that we hear a lot about is autonomous vehicles. So a lot of what we've been hearing lately is that, oh, there will be no need for drivers in 5 to 10 years because all the trucks will be on the road autonomously. And everything that we know about how that technology is moving is that it won't, the need for drivers will always persist. We'll always have a need to have people behind the wheel or operating a vehicle in some way. So in that regard, it is an industry that will always have a need for drivers moving forward. Also, too, is that a lot of times people don't really understand that the driver role itself is actually quite varied. There's lots of different opportunities to do different things. You can do long haul driving, which means you're away and you're either seeing different parts of the country or different parts of North America, or you can do what's called short haul, where you're home every night and just do a regular route each day. So you have that flexibility to kind of change your career to meet your needs at that time and have that opportunity to kind of have it grow or adjust as your needs change.
So we know there's great demand for drivers and that there are a lot of options, including whether you choose to drive long or you choose to drive with a company like Parkland, where all your routes are close to home. But let's be honest, people want to know what kind of money they can make as a driver, because so far, it sounds like a great job.
Sure. It does vary a bit across the country. Obviously, what we tend to find is that an average wage, nationally speaking, would be $75,000 to $80,000 for a competent driver who's working full time within their role. But that varies significantly. If you go into the northern parts of Canada, the need for drivers is much greater. So we understand there that the wage ranges are actually well into the six figures at that point because of the real demand to have drivers in those communities. So there is a fair amount of a range within that. What we do find too as well is once you become a full-time driver, and it's not a long process to do that, you can earn those wages fairly quickly. So it requires getting your licensing, getting onboarded with a company, having them have insurance for you, and then you're able to earn that kind of a yearly income.
Okay, Craig, you bring up training. What does it take to become a truck driver and start down this road for a career?
So the two licenses that are pertinent for commercial vehicle operation, so like driving a truck basically, would be essentially your class 3 and your class 1. A class 5 license is more like your general driver's license. You can drive a pickup truck or things like that. But if you want to drive the larger, what are called straight trucks, which is the cab and the payload area all connected together, or like a dump truck, would require to go for training for that first, and then you would have to pass a test with the provincial jurisdiction that you live within to get that license. When you look at the class 1, which is like the tractor trailers is what we call those. So that's, you have a tractor or a truck that then attaches to a big long 53-foot trailer or whatever you're looking to haul. That requires a little bit more training. Usually in most provinces, there is a mandatory entry-level training standard in place. So you have to do a training program that meets the minimum number of hours of that standard. So that depends on the province, about 103 to 120 hours, depending again where you are. And then you're able to take your test from there to get your license, basically.
This sounds like it might be expensive to get the kind of training that would allow you to sit behind the wheel of a truck. But Craig, I hear there are plenty of grants and opportunities for people and Indigenous youth because there's such great demand.
Absolutely. Every province, not every, a number of provinces have a few different opportunities available. In Alberta, there is a grant right now that's done through the province of Alberta that they could look to utilize with an employer. But we at Trucking HR Canada actually have a fairly large initiative right now where we're able to cover the cost of that training up to $10,000. So what we would do is we would cover that for any individual. So that would include Indigenous youth as well. Very much would like to see them as part of the program. And we have a strong cohort of Indigenous youth already in the program, which is great. And so we would cover the full cost of that training. And then the idea is that the youth will be working with an employer who will look to hire them on. And then we can actually also help the employer cover some of their wage costs at the beginning, which is usually when the company is doing on the job training and getting that new driver up to speed to work with them.
Yes, Parkland has accessed some of this funding to hire and train new drivers, including women. While it's true the trucking industry has been male-dominated, it's starting to change. Companies like Parkland are working very hard to make it a welcoming place for women to thrive and succeed. Parkland is a proud recipient of Women Building Futures Employer of Choice designation, which demonstrates our strong commitment to creating and cultivating safe, equitable, and inclusive workplaces for employees in all their diversity. Being an employer of choice now gives Parkland the opportunity to hire Women Building Futures graduates and alumni. One of those recent grads is Desi. She's one of our newest Class 3 drivers and very recently joined Parkland's Blue Wave Energy team in Fort McMurray. Let's bring Desi in along with her driver mentor, Kim. So Desi, what advice can you share with women or anyone who maybe doesn't fit the traditional trucker image?
If you're a woman that likes to be physically engaged in your work and you don't see yourself sitting at a desk for hours and you like longer days and you like the idea of being able to really take care of your own family and have that ability in your hands, I feel like that's a really great opportunity for women. It is possible to be in a relationship, but it's also something that if you're single, it's and you don't have any idea of what you want to do with a relationship. This is on a more personal level, of course, but it's being able to take care of yourself, being able to take care of your kids, just being able to. I don't know if I'm answering this right. Freedom. Yeah, you have the freedom, you have the ability to do it yourself, and the control is in your hands, right? Quite literally.
When did you realize that being a driver would be a great career for you?
Literally ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a driver. I didn't know what kind of driver. Used to think I wanted to race, but no, I like trucks. My mom told me though, when I went to get my license, that she literally couldn't have pictured anything more perfect for me. She knew I was wanting to be a driver ever since I could literally hold on to a steering wheel. I think I really like strategy. I like to have a full awareness of my surroundings. I like to have a changing environment that you're always constantly having to adapt to. I like the challenges that we face as drivers. But I also really like just being in control of being part of a safe environment for yourself, for others, and of course for wildlife and everything else involved.
Kim, how about you? What led to a career as a Class 1 and Class 3 driver?
As a child, my father was a single parent. Out of necessity, he kind of had to teach me how to drive the odd truck. He would put blocks on the pedals for me when I was little. And he taught me how to drive so I could help him out when he needed it around the yard. And from there, I run equipment. I drove his trucks. It was just something I always wanted to do. I've been to college twice, tried 2 different other careers. And trucking ended up being the one that helped with the family so I could be there and made the money that I needed to help support my family as a single parent myself.
Kim, we heard from Craig earlier about what people can expect to make as a driver. It sounds like the pay is pretty great, but salary isn't the only thing that makes your job rewarding. The people and the benefits and the extras really matter. Tell us more.
The people I work with, they are awesome. It's more friendly. Everybody can joke with each other. They're very good. If you think there's something wrong with your truck, they will get it looked at. They will, they teach you some things about the sounds your truck will make if it's making a sound you're not used to. They don't hesitate to pull it off the road. They give you opportunities in advancement, mentorship as a driver. You can try other trucks too. Certain branches have picker trucks. You're allowed sometimes to go and train on those. You also can be part of the share program. You can buy shares into the company, and they also donate, or they also give part of some money into your shares, so you get even more shares. It's a good retirement looking thing. When you have shares, you can sell if you need to. It was a good company. It was what I needed when I was starting back to work after I had a kidney transplant. So it worked. Everybody was so good about getting me back into the workplace. They took it easy on me until I was ready to get back into it full force.
Lots of people think that driving is a sitting job, but what does a typical day for you actually look like?
Okay, we get to the lay down in the morning. We do our walk around and pre-trip for our trucks. We start them up in winter time, so they have time to warm up. We come in, we do our meetings every morning with our crew is Lloydminster, Fort McMurray, and Bonnieville. We get a update of like what trucks are broke down, or if there's anything wrong with your truck, you let them know so they can get it into the shop. We get our tablets that involves the tickets we'll be doing for the day, the places we'll be delivering to. We get our PPE on, we jump into our trucks, and we go and make deliveries and do it safely. And then at the end of the day, we load our trucks. We do our paperwork, which isn't very much paperwork, thank goodness. And we're done for the day. We get to go home every night.
So there's way more to being a driver than just sitting or driving at Parkland. Kim, in addition to being a driver, you're also a driver mentor. How do you bring a new driver up to speed so that they are road ready?
When we have a new hire, once they've gone through their onboarding with the computers, then they become a driver, and we walk them through the whole system, starting with our tablets, with our geotabs and our tickets on it. They do their walk-arounds to make sure that everything's up to par on their trucks. They get in the driver's seat, and we just walk them through the day. We point out if there's something they're doing wrong, if they need to fix it. We encourage them to, do what they feel comfortable doing. We don't push them into something they're not comfortable with yet. We make sure that they know that if they're not comfortable doing something, they can always say no. And just make sure that they know their sites they're going to, the conditions, what they can be like, and just show them the spots so they know where to go for the next time.
So has any of this piqued your interest? I bet it has. From the opportunities to the salary to the lifestyle to the grants available for training. So how do you know if you would be good at this job, and where can you learn more? All right, let's bring Craig back to answer that.
It really does vary a little bit. I mean, the first thing I would say is that, usually it's individuals who are looking to go into the trades type careers, right? So if you're looking at a trade or a skill trade of some sort, driving maybe an opportunity for you that requires less apprenticeship to be able to, become a fully licensed and fully functioning driver fairly quickly. Other kind of attributes is that it really caters well to people who are fairly independent, like to work on their own. Obviously, you're going to be in the truck by yourself. You have support from your employer, like usually a dispatcher and stuff, but you have that ability to kind of make your day and how you want it to work for you. So people who want to work a little bit independently and are able to kind of solve like problems on the road, really do kind of well within this occupation.
Craig, Trucking HR Canada's Career GPS is a great place for young people considering a driving career to explore what the industry has to offer. So tell us more.
Careers GPS. So it actually has a list of all the different careers within the industry, including the truck driver career, and lists all the different things I sort of talked about today, but a lot more information about what's kind of, expected within the role and how it kind of works basically.
The Careers GPS site is also a great place to find employers like Parkland who are creating a great place to work. Trucking HR Canada's Top Fleet Employer Program recognizes industry leaders who create safe, welcoming, dynamic, and supportive environments for their employees. Parkland is very proud to be one of these top fleet employers. And any final words or thoughts that you'd like to pass on to someone who's interested but might still be in high school or just beyond?
Having a clean driver's abstract, both from a class 5 and but also as a commercial vehicle operator, is probably the most important thing you can have, because it will make it hard for another company to employ you if you don't have a clean abstract. And the reason for that is that the insurance that's required to run the vehicle becomes very difficult for an employer to find, because they want to ensure that insurance wants to ensure there's safe people on the road, obviously, and that we have safe drivers. So maintaining that abstract. So, if you're driving by yourself on the highway, make sure you're not speeding too much, that you're doing all the right things so that you can keep that clean abstract.
Thanks so much to Craig, Kim, and Desi. We appreciate you giving us some insight into the great opportunities that are ahead in the trucking and driving industry. So if becoming a Class 1 or Class 3 truck driver is something you think you might be interested in, here are the things you can do next. Go to truckingcareersgps.com and take a career assessment to discover if a driving career might suit you. Here, you'll be able to also check out different career profiles to better understand a variety of industry jobs, explore a day in the life of, and get more information on the specific education requirements to become a truck driver. 2, get your Class 5 driver's license if you don't already have it, and practice safe driving behavior at all times. Remember, a clean driver's abstract is a requirement of most employers. 3, keep in touch with Parkland. Parkland would love to send a guest speaker to your class, or your school, or a career fair. We would also be happy to talk about hosting a tour and a Q&A session for you and your classmates at one of our branch locations. With locations right across Canada, there is likely a Parkland-owned branch near you. Ask your teacher or school administrator to send a request via email. Follow Parkland and our commercial hiring brands on social media. Check out parkland.ca/careers to learn more about our company and our opportunities. Finally, if you decide that a truck driving career is what really moves you and you are ready to take the next step, we want to help power your journey. We can help you set up an information call with one of our Parkland recruiters to try and answer any questions and provide some advice on next steps. Thanks for watching, and best of luck wherever your journey takes you.